was going to show you how cold it is by showing you an icicle, but I didn't want to freeze my hands, and I couldn't figure out how to store it during the video. I gave up. And I'm running out of books. With the snowstorm and the libraries being closed, Amazon couldn't come through, and I couldn't go to the library. So now that everything's opened up again, I got to get back to ordering my books. And I'm expecting like 2 or 3 books to arrive today, so from Amazon. So they finally got to be able to come through again. But I'm running out of books. I need to get to the library. I need Amazon to show up. We are on book 11. And all of the things that I have been waiting for. I left it over there. I should have brought it. Since, what was that book? Hold on, let me look. All the things I've been waiting for. I think even before this one, finally happened in this one. And there's a glare. I was gonna do this at 2 o'clock in the morning. We decided it was 2 o'clock in the morning and I wasn't gonna do it. Welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina, K-O-C-I-N-A. This is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, none of that fancy smanchy stuff going on here. And this was a quick read. I read this so fast because I got into it. Because all the stuff I had been waiting for finally happened in this book. Because it's been foretold for a few books now. So this is book 11 in the Ursula Blanchard series. And we did a little binge reading because Amazon wasn't delivering and the libraries weren't open. And since I had 11 inches of snow outside, I couldn't go anyplace either. So, we have Ursula, our heroine, our lady, and we have Dale and Broccoli, her maidservant and manservant. And Dale, it's happened before. It's been addressed before. It's getting a little old. But Dale has been jealous of her husband Broccoli's loyalty to Ursula over her. And at even one point in this book, Dale has an argument with Broccoli that insinuates that he would choose Ursula over her any day. And it's kind of pointed out. And we also have, spoiler alert, we start the book off, Hugh has finally died. I did not realize they were only married for 6 years. It seems like so much longer, but they were only married for 6 years. And so she's doing that. She's still got Margaret with her, the girl from the last book, because her parents kicked her out. And all of a sudden, her parents come and they say, "We've got..." Yes, ma'am. What? We've got a marriage for our daughter in the Netherlands, I think. But this was my quote. I wrote this last night. Several things that I have been waiting to happen in this book happen. The death of Hugh, Ursula's husband, has been hinted at in the last few books, and Matthew discovering that his wife is still alive and seeking her out at Wilda's house. That's a little further than I wanted to do. I shouldn't have read that sentence. I should have waited for that sentence. She goes there because Margaret's parents have found her husband, and they want Ursula to be the one to take her to Van Wieden's. A part of me wants to know who in their right mind sends their daughter off to be married without going with her to meet the groom. Really? No biting. Once again, I found myself screaming and yelling and carrying on. But yeah, that's the plot lines. It's supposed to do that. That's the mark of a good book. That's the mark of a good book that gets your emotions stirring. That after you're binge reading 11 books, you actually start to care about the characters. And you're screaming at us like, wait, what? Well, first you're screaming at the parents. Why? Why are you doing this? Foreign country, you're probably never going to see her again. And you're saying you're not even going to go meet the guy and see the house or anything. You're going to let Ursula do it. And yeah, there's reasons given in the book, but I don't care. All right, it's plotline. I know it's plotline. But still, the parents should have went to see. But they are estranging the daughter. They kicked her out a year ago, so you know. So Ursula goes. They go and meet this guy, and while they're there, Cecil wanted them to check out Rodolphe from the last book. And she checks out Rodolphe from the last book, and it's not good. It's not good. Things go okay for a while. Would you get down? You're gonna fall. Yes, ma'am. She's very needy today. Very, 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 very needy. I was out yesterday. I met the. Oh, nope, nope. So, it's convoluted. But she does the husband thing. They have, oh, that's right, the future husband, the potential husband, the Van Whedon was friends with Rodolphe. That's what happened. They were friends. And they went over into, I don't think it was Spain yet. I think it was, would you stop biting the brush? It's France. No, it wasn't France. Well, they went to Rodolphe's house. Yeah, no, maybe it was Spain. No, I guess it was Spain. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. And so she met Rodolphe. Rodolphe's like, "Oh, I know who you are. You're the lady that did all that stuff with Miss Northumberland and Norfolk last year with all the spying and stuff like that." But his wife, they didn't know how much she was involved in it. And his wife Donna likes her much, so they hang out with Donna a while. And because they get this note from Cecil, his previous spy in their household was killed. He was discovered. And she needs to stay. She's doing a good job, blah, blah, blah. Because she wants to go home. She keeps talking about going home and going home, going home. She wants to go home. And she keeps trying. Broccoli actually makes 2 or 3 successful messaging trips back to Cecil. And they've done their thing. They found their proof, blah, blah, blah. And Matthew shows up. And she's like, I'm going. We're leaving. We got to go. We're going to use Meg. Because it's been a while now. It's been a really long while. And she pretends to get this note. Meg thinks she's with Child, wants to talk to Ursula. Can she come back? Blah, 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 blah. So she goes to go back, and she gets kidnapped by Anne Percy, who wants to get revenge on Ursula for stopping the plan in the other book. Remember, she locked Ursula up in the cellar, and she did all those things to Ursula. And Ursula, she wants to get back at Ursula for doing all those things. Well, because Ursula escaped from her trap in the last book. Let's say it that way. So Anne conspires a thing and recaptures Ursula and keeps her for 3 or 4 days in the cellar. She does feed her and give her a blanket or two. And because she wants to keep her alive to torture her. So, in the meantime, Matthew had found out about her previously. And And so he finds out Broccoli escaped during the ambush. And he goes back and Matthew learns that Ursula's been kidnapped. So Matthew kidnaps Anne Umberland's and Percy's kid. And he's like, well, I'll exchange the kid for Ursula. What are you doing? What you doing? So, of course, Anne Umberland, she's just livid. But they do the exchange and it works out. And on the way back to Rodolphi's, not Anne, Ursula and Matthew have some get together time, some emotionally bonding. I love you, but I can't be with you because your loyalties are Mary Stuart, my loyalties are to Elizabeth, and they also had a few other differences. Ursula miscarried his child the first time around. If they had had Claire Beecham Fraser's Rangers talents in the medical field, maybe the doctors, was it 400, 500 years ago? This is 1570, I believe. I wrote it down. We're 1571. Um, they might have had the intelligence to reach in and turn the kid around. There's also a delicate way. Know nothing of these things, but there's also a delicate way to remove the umbilical cord off the kid's neck too. There's also ways to do that. But because this kid was not turned, he dies. So I kept waiting. They need somebody to save the day, but I guess the kid dying was part of the plot line. And so Ursula was afraid to be with child, and she was happy with Hugh because Hugh had never fathered a child before. So obviously he wasn't going to get her a child, and she was safe with him, and she was. She never had a child the full 6 years. But her and Matthew have some get together time, and um, they conceive a child. Are you okay? Are you okay? My notes are here. So and then um she wants to go home again, and Cecil says, "You're our only hope, Ursula. You have to stay and go with the Raldos to Spain." And there's a big fight, and Dale is still feeling this is like the third or fourth time Dale's done this. And Dale reveals Ursula's identity at some point of their escape, and there's another big fight between her and Broccoli about that. But they do go to Spain for a short period of time, and it's during the what was it called? Where's my glasses? Did you see what I did? My glasses. The Fae thing. It's a part of I don't I don't know why people did this, and it must have been horribly scary to live through these times, and I don't know why people stayed there, why they didn't leave. I just don't understand why they stayed in these countries if they were doing this stuff, but maybe they didn't know any better, and so this is gonna drive me crazy that I can't think of the words. It's not even stored there yesterday because I looked it up. It's where the Spanish burn people at the stake, uh, just for any reason, and then they even dug them up and burned them again. Can't find this word. The It's back a little further. I'm sorry. I can't find it. Well, it's the thing where they burnt people. Did she mention it in here? No. Oh, this is gonna drive me crazy. Otto, and I don't know why something is called Otto 500 years before, unless they're meaning automatically. So it's Otto, Autodafe, act of faith in which Spanish public ceremony when individuals were condemned by the Spanish for heresy, they were burned at the stake. This practice was primarily used to enforce religious conformity, particularly targeting converted Jews who were suspected of practicing Judaism. What's the... I don't know the difference. I don't know. I don't know the difference between Jews and Judaism. I don't know. And being a Catholic, I couldn't tell you the difference between Catholic or Christian either. Seems the same thing to me. But I'm not an expert in this. But that was going to drive me crazy. I had to look that up. So we're running out of books. We need to get more books. Do you want to get more books? One of my Ellery Adams? No. The other one, I forget which. One of them does a library series, which I got pissed off at because she ended the series when the character got married. The Carrie had a gray cat she used to take to the library. She called him Smokey Gray. But mine's a girl. And she's gray. That's how she got the name Smokey, because she's gray. And she's queen of the house. She takes after her daddy. Whereas her sister Sandy takes after the mother. Because Smokey is this big and Sandy is this big. But they're sisters. You can see some brown here. When Smokey lays out straight, you can see some brown. And when Sandy lays out straight, you can see gray. But anyways, so that's how we left the book. After, I scream and yell at Ursula, "What are you doing? Why are you going to Spain? You know you don't want to go to Spain. You don't feel well. You've discovered you're with child again. And yet you feel your duty to Cecil and Elizabeth to continue into Spain and risk possible death with these inquisitions. And it's said that if you don't go to these inquisitions, you're automatically targeted. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but that's what the author implies in her book here. So, like I said, it was a relief to finally have the events that I'd been waiting for books. Hugh dying, and her and Matthew finally meeting up and discussing things. And of course, it was inevitable that her and Matthew would get together again. Apparently, his wife has also died. So he's given her a year. And I'm wondering, and I won't know until I get to the next book, and I might wait a day or so because other books are starting to come in now that the snow is melted. But and I've got to get back to the FBI series. I left that hanging. We've got a Traitor's Tears here to catch up on. So we've got to. I don't know. This was I think it was one of the fastest reads. I ran through this because it was just I didn't I didn't keep track of the characters like I normally do. I didn't. I mean, there's some on my spreadsheet. I started to, and then I just gave up. I was like, this it's not real necessary. I know who the core people were. I know who Ursula and Dale and Broccoli were. I know who Matthew was. We knew who Margaret was. We knew who Rodolphe was. We knew Donna, his wife. We knew the Duke of Norfolk and all his trouble he was causing. We had a few extra visitors. We had Ryder come in. He's from a couple of books ago. So I didn't have to pay attention to all those external characters because I know who they are now. When I read that book 23, I didn't know who anybody was, and it drove me crazy. But now that I've come back to and we will reread book 23. Now that I know who everybody is. So if you could please hit the like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. I'm interested to see what happens if she tells Matthew. And knowing this author, it could take 5 or 6 books. But we'll see what happens. Don't forget to Star Trek Next Generation recaps on Friday. We're getting to the end of Star Trek. And if then Friday afternoons, we went bonkers with St. Patrick's Day and Irish Cozy Mysteries and fairy tales. We're going with the luck of the Irish and gambling and debts, regencies, and of course new releases. So there's your March schedule. Flashback Monday's a little on the behind schedule because the books haven't arrived from Amazon, and I haven't been able to get to the library either, so it's been a little slow. So we're gonna run into a little slowdown period, and I've got 2 big events, so I'll be off for 4 days. So I need to get reading. Have a good one.